Hey, let's talk about vendor booths. Now, you may love vendor booths because you found success with them. Or maybe on the other side, you may hate vendor booths. And maybe that's because you really didn't have much success with them. But we're going to discover and we're going to talk about maybe why we didn't have that success or why we did. So, I am Stan Shields, Marketing Automation Solutions. I built my martial arts business back in Colorado when I lived there. I built my martial arts business using events primarily, and I used a lot of vendor events. I looked for vendor events. It was one of my primary marketing ways to grow our business. We grew it from 40 members, 8,000 a month to 250 members, $50,000 months. So vendor booths can make a giant difference. I also worked for a national remodeling company when we sold millions of dollars in doors and windows at vendor booths. So they do work. The question is it working right for you? Basically, there are two critical factors as to what helps make a booth work. And so we're going to explore both of those factors. The first one is maybe the most critical factor. I'm not going to say maybe, it is the most critical factor. And that is that quite often when people aren't happy with their booth, it's because that booth was not successful. And this one factor could be the main reason why it wasn't successful. And that is, you have to ask the question, were you at the right event? Was it the right event for your business? Meaning, who's your target audience? Did you go to an event that actually has your target audience? Because if you chose the wrong event and it doesn't match, the target audience does not match with your business, then that's a tough one to overcome. So that is the critical factor number one. You have to make sure you're at the right kind of an event. You know, if you're trying to sell to or market to a crowd that's in their 50s and 60s, and you go to, I don't know, let's say Comic-Con or, you know, some of these events, maybe anime or something where the crowd is a much younger crowd and have much different interests, then that's going to be a tough sell. You're not going to really be able to do all that much at that kind of an event. So it is absolutely critical to identify who your ideal customer is and what those interests are for that ideal customer, so that when you are at your booth, now you can engage with them in a way that makes sense, that's going to help your booth become much more successful. The other critical factor for events like that are going to be your follow-up. Let's say that you did get it right and you're at the right event and you're having great engagement and maybe you're having great conversations with people and they're the right people. But if you don't have an effective follow-up system so that you are now staying in touch with those people, then that can be almost as bad, maybe worse, than not picking the right event in the first place. So you have to think about, what are your follow-up systems? What kinds of things are you going to do to stay in touch, to stay top of mind with those new prospects that you've now created for your business? There's a statistic out there that says that 90% of salespeople, and yes, if you are a local business, you are a vendor, you are a salesperson. So whether you want to admit that or agree with that or not, you really are. And so if 90% of salespeople never follow up, I think it's something like they don't follow up more than 4 times with a prospect. And so, and that number might even be 3 times that they don't follow up. Whereas 80% of sales are made somewhere between the 5th and the 20th touch. So what does that tell you? That means that you really have to have an effective follow-up system that's following up with people 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8, 9, 20 times. You have to get a very consistent approach to the follow-up. So critical step number 1 is pick the right audience so that you're at the right event. Critical step number 2 is making sure that you have an effective follow-up system. So if you've not been successful with these vendor booths, then I have an answer for you. We have an event that's happening next week. It's called the Vendor Victory Challenge. I don't know why I named it something that feels like it's complicated to say, but that's what it is, the Vendor Victory Challenge. You can find more details at thevendorvictorychallenge.com. And I'm going to put a banner up here so you can see it, vendorvictorychallenge.com. But we're going to, I guess it doesn't matter whether you are a experienced vendor and you just want to pick up a few tips and get maybe a better follow-up system, maybe even hone your skills on figuring out which vendor events are the right ones, whatever. We've got stuff for you. It may be you just want to, maybe the booth event was not so great, but you think that it's possible that these things might work for your business, or there's others in your industry who are having success, then this will be great for you because you will get tips, you'll get strategies, you'll get ideas from this event that will help you be more successful at these vendor events. And maybe you're brand new and you know nothing about vendor events. This event will be perfect for you because it's going to give you so much. And just by signing up, you're going to get a 60-day vendor event checklist that will give you things that you really need to start doing 60 days out to prepare and be ready for your upcoming vendor events. And then we've got some great we'll have some great topics and subjects. You'll learn more about it at vendorvictorychallenge.com. So go over there, check it out. And I hope that I will see you at the event. So vendorvictorychallenge.com. That's it. I look forward to seeing you. Take care.